Welcome to Unfiltered, Pixel Pro Audio's weekly show. Today we are joined by Evan from Novation to talk about the new MIDI controllers, the new launch series. And don't forget to subscribe and hit like if you want to see more content like this, and leave a comment below about what you think about these new things. All right, guys, let's get into this. Hello, everyone. Welcome back around the drum. I'm Tay. This is Evan, and that is David. And today we are here to talk about the new Novation products that have launched this year. The Launchpad X, the Launchpad Mini, and the Launchkey Mini MK3. So, Evan, welcome back again. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me back, guys.
Definitely.
It's always good to see you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we have 3 new products here to show you. These came out relatively recently. This was end of September, mid-October. And so we refreshed our launch line of MIDI controllers. Mm-hmm. So here we have the Launchkey Mini MK3. And we've made a bunch of improvements to this. First off, you can tell we added a pitch wheel and a modulation wheel.
Yeah.
The keys feel a lot nicer. It's a mini key bed, but the keys actually feel pretty decent for being so small.
Yeah.
New improvement is the pads up here are now full RGB LED.
Nice.
So if you're working in Ableton, you have different colored clips. That'll show up for you. We also have MIDI out on the back. So if you can see that, it's a mini jack, and the industry is moving towards the TRS-A standard.
Yeah.
For a while, there's been kind of, I don't want to say a conflict, but there's been 2 standards, but everybody's moving towards TRS-A. And so we've adopted that standard on this. So what that means is you could just use just an 1/8" mini jack and hook this up to, say, like a Korg Volca, a Make Noise No Coast, or you could purchase a breakout cable for this, and that would turn it into your standard 5-pin MIDI.
Okay.
So that's super handy. So you can use this standalone without having to hook it up and route MIDI through a computer.
That's really cool.
That's
People have
awesome.
been asking for that for a long time, actually, and that's really cool to see it here.
Yeah. It's really, really awesome because we have heard that request for a long time. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of keyboards of this size on the market can do it.
Right.
So we're filling that gap.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. There's also a really, really powerful arpeggiator on this. So I'm not sure if you can see on the camera here, but there's a lot of labels on the keys right here. And that's how you control your arpeggiator. So you have your standard patterns up, down, your sync rate, the amount of octaves. You can change the rhythm a little bit. But what's really cool about the arpeggiator is we added something called mutate and deviate. So if you turn mutate on and turn deviate on, you can start to dial it in with these knobs here. And what mutate does is it kind of randomizes the notes. So you play a chord, it'll change the way the notes are played, the octaves. So it's not a fully blown sequencer per se. It's kind of a randomizer, but you can play around with it, get a sequence that you like. Then you can dial in some deviation, and that randomizes the rhythm. So using those 2 things in tandem, you can get some really cool melodic lines out of this.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Mutate and deviate.
Mutate and deviate. Mutate and deviate, yeah.
They should call this the Launchkey Mini X-Men.
Mutate.
Very
good, David. Very
Yeah.
good. Do you access that through the shift then to get that?
So
those
there's
commands?
the arpeggiator button here. So if you want to access these commands, you would press and hold ARP and then hit it like that.
So it's
okay.
kind of like a shift where you have to do an action first and then select the one you want.
Right. So this shift button here is to change what the pads and what the knobs do. So there's some labels up here. You can do session mode, drum mode, custom mode. And I'll talk about custom mode in a little bit because all 3 of these things can do some pretty cool custom things. And then you can also change the behavior of the knobs up here. So you can control your macros in your DAW. You can control your track volumes, your pans, send effects. Yeah, it's pretty powerful.
Dang, this thing is powerful.
Wow, yeah, that's awesome.
So, I wanted to know how you got to those buttons, the deviate and the mutate buttons. So you hold the arpeggiate
So I'd hold
down.
arpeggiate. The mutate button is here, and the deviate button is here. And then there's, let's see, these 2 up top. And then you just dial it in.
Okay.
You know. and we'll do some audio demos and demonstrate that for you, because it's personally my favorite new feature on the Launchkey Mini.
Okay, yeah, that's exciting.
Awesome.
Yeah. What else? Oh yeah, we also added a fixed chord mode. So if you hold fixed chord, dial in a chord, that chord will now be transposed among all the keys. So that's a really cool method you would use in like Detroit style techno house music.
Yeah.
And then of course it is a Launchkey, so it has Ableton integration. So you basically have 2 rows of a Launchpad up here to launch your clips, stop your clips, things like that.
And so just as far as the aesthetics, this looks a little different. Like everything is a bit more square. Personally, I like that. I think it looks cleaner and just more professional and modern.
Yeah, I agree. I think they did a really good job kind of modernizing the new launch products.
Do you mind if I grab it?
Yeah, of course. It's super light.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's pretty solid too. I like the tapered bottom here. That it kind of like you can't see the bottom, so it kind of just kind of melts into the desk. So that's awesome. David, you want to?
Yeah.
Sure.
And on this one, it is bus powered over USB Type B. So if you did want to use this standalone without the computer, you just get a power dongle, I guess.
Oh yeah,
and then just plug it in the USB cable.
Like a lot of phone chargers have just that USB outlet
exactly.
adapter. Okay.
Exactly.
I like the feet on here too. It's a nice touch.
Yeah, you're jamming out. You don't want it to slip too much.
Those keys do feel really good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Velocity sensitive.
Yeah, really nice. That is an awesome improvement. I'll get my coffee off there.
Yeah. That thing really packs a punch. I'm impressed. I mean, we kind of talked about it in a previous video, but now seeing it here and having you explain it, man, this thing has a lot of bells and whistles on it.
Yeah, I feel like I actually know what's going on with it now. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's super powerful, and just we needed to. I feel like there was a need in the market for a more powerful mini keyboard, because there hasn't been a whole lot of competition in that era.
Yeah.
So I think they did a really good job, and this will be a great competitor and a great option if you're looking for a small keyboard of this size.
Yeah.
I did forget to mention it does have capture MIDI, which is a feature in Ableton. So if you're jamming out and you forget to hit record, you can hold Shift, hit record, and it actually goes back in time, sort of, and will capture that MIDI for you.
That's pretty cool.
Wow. So all this, like, there's so much to it, but it seems so simple. Like, it's not like you have to scroll through a bunch of menus and do all these key combinations. It's literally just hold a key and press a button and it's there. Like that's really nice too.
Yeah, there's not a huge learning curve on it. Everything is labeled. Nothing's really hidden. It's all right here.
Sweet.
Yeah, it looks like we have labels and stuff on the new launch pads as well. Should we talk about those now?
Yeah, let's get to that, because like Focusrite and Novation had a big year with the announcing and launching of the 3rd gen Scarlett, and then Novation now comes in with the launch series. How do you describe just the launch?
The launch series. So the launch keys obviously have keys, and then the launch pads are the grid based controllers.
Wow, pads.
The pads.
Wow.
So this little guy is the new.
This guy over here.
Launchpad Mini. Super, super tiny. We're using USB-C now.
Okay.
And the biggest improvement to this thing is all the pads are full RGB LEDs now, where in the past it was just yellow, red, green.
Yeah.
Yep.
So now you got a better visual representation of what's going on in your Ableton session. You do also have 3 custom modes up top. And, like I said, we'll talk about custom modes in just a second, because all 3 of these can do some really cool custom things.
Okay.
But essentially, you can customize faders on here, send them to specific MIDI channels, specific CC values, and use this to control whatever you would like, essentially. So this one does not have MIDI out directly. It's USB-C, bus powered, of course. But yeah, it's a tiny little guy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that looks really small. I like the pad on the bottom too.
Yeah.
That orange pad.
It's heavier than I thought it would be too. Again, it has the tapered bottom too, so I love that.
It's
that's
so heavy.
It's metal. It's very heavy. It's
brutal.
No.
He's been working out, man.
That's awesome. I like that. I love how that feels. That feels solid.
Totally.
I should keep my coffee over here. Wow. Yeah, that's really nice. Are these pads new too? They feel really nice.
Yeah, they're improved pads. On the Mini, they're not velocity sensitive.
Okay.
They are new improved pads with RGB LEDs.
Okay.
Yeah, they feel really nice. That's cool.
Yeah. So you have a toggle button on the bottom here, so you can stop your clips, mute your clips, things like that. So this guy I would recommend for somebody that's looking to perform in session view in Ableton. You do have some recording capabilities with the custom modes here. But if you want to use a Launchpad to, say, write a song or produce a song, I would definitely recommend getting the older brother here, the Launchpad X. And we could talk about this guy.
So tell us why it has the X name on it now.
Yes. So the original Launchpad was launched 10 years ago. So X is for 10.
Okay. X is
So
10.
It's been 10 years of Launchpad.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. So this is the Launchpad X. This is the big brother of the Mini, and lots and lots of improvements to this guy here. First off, you can tell, just like the Mini, we've improved the the build quality, the design, modernized it.
Yep.
The pads are bigger, but the pads haven't moved like relative to each other.
Oh,
So,
okay. So there's just less space between them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you got that muscle memory from the past Launchpad, you'll feel right at home here. The pads are they're bigger now.
And that'll make it easier for when people are doing the fader thing, like sliding. I
Yeah.
always noticed that when I was doing that on the original Launchpad, I'd get stuck in between them.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So that's cool. What happened with this?
Yeah. Now these pads are velocity sensitive and capable of polyphonic aftertouch,
Oh,
which is
wow.
pretty cool. Full RGB LED, and we've added some really cool like songwriting capabilities on this. So we have next to this session view here is note mode, and this is a dynamic note mode. So it can tell what kind of instrument you have on a track in Ableton. So if you have a synthesizer, a piano or something, note mode will look like a chromatic keyboard. But if you have a drum pad loaded up, it'll look like a drum pad. So it'll be a visual representation of how many samples you have in your drum rack. So yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's super handy. Also in note mode, we have scale mode. So if you activate scale mode and you have a synth or a keyboard or something, you can choose what scale, what key you want to be in, and that way you can't hit a wrong note. So yeah, I'll show you that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's kind of like cheating, but if you're like me and you're not very good,
Right. Well,
it's
I love all these new features.
yeah.
So, real quick, is this standalone?
So there's not a direct MIDI out.
Okay.
So you got to hook it up to a computer if you want to route MIDI to different things.
And that makes sense because it's Ableton integration.
Yeah,
So that makes total sense.
And you could definitely use it with a different DAW because there are custom modes on here, and the note mode is built into the Launchpad.
Oh, okay.
So you can use the note mode with any DAW because it's just MIDI.
Yeah.
But if you're looking to take advantage of launching clips, that's kind of strictly an Ableton thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, we've also changed the way the mixer works. We've streamlined it. So if you hit the session button twice, these are labeled down here, volume, panning, things like that. And then we have the dynamic faders that you were talking about. They're pressure sensitive. So depending on how hard or how soft you hit it, the fader will take X amount of time to reach that.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. And then we also added incremental steps on the faders. So before it was just, you have 8 steps. Okay. That's not a whole lot of resolution if you're trying to fine tune it.
Yeah.
So now you have 4 additional steps in between each pad.
Okay.
So high resolution faders, capture MIDI as well.
Nice.
So if you're jamming out, you get to hit record.
Yep.
And the custom modes. So all 3 of the new launch products can do what we call custom modes.
Okay.
And you access that in the Novation Components app, which is our free software where you manage Base Station, Circuit, Summit, all the Novation products. And that's where you can, you have 4 custom modes on this, and you can customize the face of this to do a variety of things. So you have drum pads, faders, vertical faders, horizontal faders. So you could assign it to be a crossfader for something. Cool. You can assign a pad to be a program change or a certain CC value, a lot of cool things. And you have 4 memories on here, 4 different custom modes. And I can show you that a little bit. But the Launchpad X has 4 custom modes. The Launchpad Mini has 3. And with the Launchkey, you can customize the pads to do CC values. You can make the MIDI notes, and with the faders, you can assign CC values to them as well.
That's really cool. Nice.
So yeah, really powerful. And I'm sorry if I'm ranting on here.
No, you're not at all. This is all really good stuff.
Yeah, it's super powerful. So you can really dive in deep and customize the Launchpad or the Launchkey to do exactly what you want it to do with your workflow. Yeah, it's just a really nice feature to have.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Let's get these back over here.
Yeah.
So what would what do you know what these come with? Can you tell us what they come with out of the box,
so
software and stuff?
You get Ableton Live Lite 10. You
Nice.
Get, I'm excited for this. You get 2 months to splice.com.
Nice.
Which is
That's solid.
Yeah. So instead of in the past, we packaged a bunch of samples and loops and sent them to you. But everybody got the same samples and loops. With splice.com, if you're not familiar with it, it's a website where you get a certain amount of credits a month, and you have access to hundreds of, probably thousands of sample packs, and you can pick and choose exactly what samples you want. And so you get 2 free months to that.
Yeah.
Wow.
You also get the Softtube time and tone bundle.
Yep.
You get the Red compressor, the Red EQ, and you're also part of addictive keys.
Yep.
You get 1 instance of addictive keys, so a Rhodes or a piano.
You get to pick 1 out of 4, right?
Yep, you get to pick. And then you're also part of the Sound Collective, which is, if you're familiar with the Focusrite plugin collective, pretty much the same idea, just we call it the Sound Collective, and it's for Novation products where you will get sent a new plugin about every month and a half. So you're actually getting plugins that you would actually use in production.
Yeah.
So yeah, you get signed up for that with the new launch series.
Awesome.
And you also get access to Focusrite Novation's great tech support team.
Okay.
They're local guys. We don't outsource it. They're based out of the UK, based out of LA, and we got some guys in Hong Kong as well.
And they're really quick too. We've had to do some Focusrite Novation tech support stuff. And just using the chat, they are right there. Like, they're so quick and so helpful.
Yeah, they're awesome. Shout out tech support.
Yeah.
Really appreciate you guys.
The real heroes.
Yeah.
So what are these run currently?
So the Launchkey Mini is $109.99.
Okay.
The Launchpad Mini is $109.99, and the Launchpad X is $199.99.
Okay.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is awesome. We really appreciate you running through this because we wanted to know and be able to show off the differences and the upgrades, which there are a ton of.
Yeah, I'm really surprised at how many there are. Like, how they packed all this into the same size package, and it's just so much better. For only this one's only $10 more. It's crazy.
Yeah. I'm really proud of the guys that designed everything. I think they did a really good job.
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely agree. Yeah. We will have a link below to all these products available on our website, so go check that out. And don't forget to subscribe and like this video to see more content like this. That's the best way to help us out. And there's a link below too, connected to our giveaway. So go ahead and click that and get signed up for our newsletter. Evan, do you have anything else to say about these awesome products?
Oh man, I think I covered the majority of things. But yeah, I'd love to show you some sound demos. And we've made some pretty significant improvements to the Mark III model. The first being the pitch in the mod wheel here. So that's always a handy tool to have, especially on a keyboard of this size. You also notice that the pads up here are now full RGB LEDs, so you have a better visual representation of what's going on in your Ableton session. They're also velocity sensitive drum pads, so if I hold shift and hit the drum button, I have some drum pads to play with. And we also have a custom functionality for the pads, so you're able to assign CC values to these pads or specific MIDI notes to turn this into some sort of scale that you can customize. Now, the knobs up top do a variety of different things as well. We can control our device macros. So if I go to this bass synthesizer, I I have the frequency tied to this knob and a course tied to this knob. So it's always nice to have hands-on control of your devices in Ableton. You can also control your track volumes, your track pans, your send effects, A and B, and there's a custom mode for the knobs as well. So you can assign CC values to these knobs and send them out to external hardware. Now, one of my favorite features of the Launchkey Mini MK3 is the built-in arpeggiator. It's a really powerful arpeggiator. So I'm going to go back to my bass synthesizer here. I'm going to turn latch on. So that way when I play a chord, the arpeggiator is going to keep going. So we have all your standard arpeggiator features. We have our modes. We can do, up, down, the way we played the chord, random. Let's turn the sync rate up here. So you have quarter notes, eighth notes, 16th notes, 32nd notes, a triplet function as well. We can change the amount of octaves up to 4. So this is 2, 3, 4 is going to get really high. And then we can also change the rhythm. So what makes this arpeggiator in particular really powerful is the mutate and the deviate functions. So I'm going to turn mutate on here and deviate. And now these two knobs up top are also labeled mutate and deviate. So I'm going to dial in some mutation and pay attention to the notes that are playing. They're starting to change. They're starting to randomize. So we can dial in some mutation, dial in some deviation, and that changes the rhythm. So we can mess around with mutate and deviate and cook up something nice. So that arpeggiator is built into the keyboard. So that means you can use this with external gear as well. Now we also have a fixed chord mode. So if I press and hold fixed chord and enter in a chord here, that chord will now be transposed among all the different keys. The Launchkey Mini MK3 also has a capture MIDI mode. So if I'm jamming around and I forget to hit record, I can hold shift and record, and that will capture the MIDI for me. So it goes back in time and records that MIDI that I forgot to record. So super powerful, tiny little keyboard. Retails for $109.99, so please check it out. But yeah, if you have any questions, hit up the Pixel Pro guys. They're awesome. And yeah, thanks again a lot for having me out. It's always always a pleasure.
Thanks for coming. We always appreciate your knowledge and your ability to actually show what's going on with these. So anytime you want to come down and show us a few things, feel free.
Right on, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you around the drum next time.